Hello everyone, welcome back to the 5-Minute Tech channel. Today we will continue on our journey on learning MicroFrontends. In the first part of this series, we have already talked about what are MicroFrontends, what are the basic components of MicroFrontends, and how you can go about implementing it as an application. Today we will be focusing on the web components and how we can use it to create a micro front-end application, and then we will take the next step and develop a micro front-end application using Angular and React web components. So let's start. So web components are basically a set of web platform APIs that allows you to create new custom reusable encapsulated HTML tags to use in the web pages and web apps. It is something similar to what you would have seen as an Angular directive. Custom components and widgets built on the web component standards will work across on modern browsers. So it is rendered, it works fine across all the browsers and can be used with any JavaScript library or framework like Angular, React, and that works with HTML. Now web components are based on the existing web standards, so it works across all the browsers. So the basic component of web component is our HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So it has a specifications, web component specifications. There are 4 different types of specification: custom element, shadow DOM, HTML templates and HTML imports. Custom elements is something which allows you to define your own interface with its methods and implementations. It extends the native elements and other custom elements. Shadow DOM is one of the major specifications, whereas it is like a sub DOM tree which is attached to the DOM element, the one which is rendered in the browser, and provides a true encapsulation for your elements. There are 2 types of it, which is open and closed. We'll be talking. HTML templates is used to create reusable segments of HTML within apps. So we'll define like a directive and you can reuse it anywhere we want. And helps in defining a markup. So it's like a markup tag which for a specific segment of an app, and then we render it on the fly. HTML imports is the least used specification. It's mostly used with your HTML templates. It's mainly used for your packaging of the web component which you have created. So let's get started. We'll first go into creating a simple web component, which is a star rating web component, and it will be something which you're seeing on the screen. The code for it is available at this location, but I will go ahead and show you and walk you through on what are different steps component, simple web component star rating application. So this is the simple application which we will be talking about. There is just one index HTML. The index HTML we are going to follow basically some steps which will help us finish this web component. So first step is creating a web component template, which HTML template. So what we do is we define we create an element and we say it is of type template, and in that we provide the HTML details, whatever you want to have. For me, it has a star image, and it has a star related CSS, and then it has a small HTML part which is something which you have to define as a markup for your web component. What we will do is we'll create a class, rating class, and we will extend the HTML element. And now the next step you have to do is encapsulate your web component with shadow DOM and attach to the shadow DOM. So you create a root element, a root object, and you attach the DOM. I have chosen the mode to be closed, and then you can append the child, and similarly you can do an event listener. For me, I am going to click on the star element, so that's why I have attached the event listener. The next step, the 5th step, which is to use the star rating. So before we get there, you have to define the window custom element, and you have to hook that up to the class which you have created, the star rating class. Now that will become part of your the star rating, which you will show it like this. So that is how you use your web component, and I have done it 2 times because I have 2 variations of it. So let's go ahead and run this. So when we run the application, we say this simple application. It's a simple index HTML launch, and what you can do is you can click and you can submit. But for my implementation purpose, I have just made it as a clickable, and that event could be fired and saved and passed on to the subsequent application. So that was all about creating a simple web component in basically 5 steps. So the next section which we'll be talking about is MicroFrontend application with Angular and React. So this is our application wherein we have one section of the application built in Angular and the other section is built with React. Now both these applications can talk to the parent, which is the shell application, which is the enclosing application, or also it can talk to each other. So let's get into the code. To start with, we have defined 3 different folders: the MicroFrontend Angular, the MicroFrontends React, and MicroFrontend Shell. So we'll go one by one. First of all, our Angular application is a simple application which has the basically you create with a CLI, you create a simple application and you just go ahead and add a custom element. The custom element index HTML is something which I have done like a product listing. So I'm just having a list of products which is getting displayed here, and look up a event emitter so that when I talk with the shell or the base application, the communication is established. So this is the simple application. So this is all about Angular section of our code, as simple as that. The next part is our React application, a simple component wherein we are extending the React component, and we have here added some text boxes and as a payment information, collecting the payment information from the user, and we are going to render that to the UI. Moving on to the base application, this is where our main code will be, HTML, and in this we have defined a simple style wherein nothing special, we have just a background style and all. Now here you have different sections. So first section is our defining the header, this header section. The second part is our Angular, wherein we are going to call the Angular application, and what we are going to do with the next section will be our React, where another card is there which has a React card payment information, and the last one will show us what is happening when we are communicating through each of these applications. So all these so what we have to do next is to do whatever we did in creation of the web component, we have to redo here, wherein we did all these creation of element. So I have created 2 elements, React EL and NGEL for Angular, and I'm doing an event listener on each of these applications, and they will be rendered on the same page. Either you want in the same page, or you can have some navigation around and you can go to the different applications as you wish, but the basic implementation will remain the same. So this is the section wherein the React code is there, React application is called or rendered, and the second section is this one. This is the Angular part of the application which gets aligned to the UI. And if you can see here on different nodes, terminals, 5001, 5002 and 5000 is our shell application. So coming back to the main application, I have launched the base application, and as you see there are 3 sections to it. The first part is our base application, which is a simple JavaScript which is hooking up the 2 applications, and then we have the one application which is written in Angular, and the other one is a payment application which is written in React. So if I click on add to cat, you will be able to see some event getting fired and it is getting passed to the base application. And similarly, if I provide some more details here and I click on pay, so the React application gets its event or the information and passes it to our base application. So similarly, the application can talk to each other or to the base application. So that's pretty much about the micro front end with web components as through a web component structure. So that's pretty much from this segment. Hope you like the video. If you like, do press like and subscribe.